So yeah, maybe they've got a giant board game of life, and they're rolling the dice and spinning us around, and every so often somebody jumps us and we go back to start.
I don't know. It's what I'm really, been doing a lot of research on this for the last couple months. Is this has been going on for tens of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Okay, so this cattle mutilation thing, human mutilation thing, abductions where they're taken off world and never returned, collecting semen, collecting DNA, collecting eggs and whatever from people. This has been going on, for centuries and centuries and centuries. What if they're just trying to get information? Then something is weird, because unless we got a different humanoid coming here about once a week on our planet, something is up. Because, I would think the first time they did it, or the second, or whatever, it wouldn't be going on for centuries and centuries and thousands of years. They would have got what they needed a long time ago. So something else is in the fire here. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, definitely. If they're advanced enough to come here, which means they can manipulate time and space, and basically they're using a time machine to even get here, if you think about it. And if they're that far advanced, they could be 1 million years, 10 million years, a billion years advanced. Who knows? But
well, if they were a billion years advanced to us, okay, they would have created a giant fly swatter, James.
Yeah.
And they would have sent that out, and just, that would have been the end of the Earth, like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The Earth was in its way of that superhighway. And they just took out the Earth. That's what they would do to us.
Yeah, well, and you're right. I don't think they're not coming here trying to experiment and find things out. I don't believe that at all, because it doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't, because you know what? If they're just collecting, they need to keep collecting DNA. Wouldn't they have enough of that? They would have breeded humans, they would have had all, like cattle, they would have had all the DNA or eggs or semen, whatever they're trying to collect. They could have had their own, cattle farm of humanoids. And why would they have to keep coming back here?
Right. And the more plausible theories is, one, maybe they need our blood for as a catalyst to something to sustain them while they're here on this earth or realm, or maybe they need us for nourishment or
nourishment. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I want a strawberry sundae. I want a Pepsi, and I want a blonde 5'6" for my encore. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Entry. Yeah. Whatever.
I'm just saying these are some plausible things that they could be doing. And also, maybe they are making hybrids. They're trying to plant them in our society. So maybe they have a long goal plan. I don't. And then again, maybe we're the science project that they bring all their kids and their students from their colleges, so to speak, to come here and experiment on to practice. These are more plausible than they're trying to just keep finding something out.
Well, like I said, they could have took 100,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. They could have took humans right aboard, and then they created the whole, city of humans just for experimenting with. It doesn't make sense why they would keep coming and doing the same thing. How many times do you have to get the ovaries of a cow? In the tongue and the eyes and the brain and everything else they seem to want. It's the same with the humans. It don't make logical sense. There's something here going on that we're just overlooking, and people are overlooking. The investigators are overlooking.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely, there's something there. It's too bad we don't know, and they're obviously doing things that have been doing things to animals as well. And there's a lot of patterns there, again, with, the genitalia, and some of the cheeks will be gone, the eyes will be gone, and certain things, and they're always cut laser-like, and there's always no blood, and sometimes it looks like a lot of them, that they fell, But there's a lot of patterns going on there. And again, I don't think it's, I don't think they have a delicacy of let's get a cow udder and eat it. I don't think it's that. There's more to it. I don't know what.
Well, I don't want to find out personally, but if you want to volunteer, James, you certainly can. It just makes me wonder, because like with Timothy Cullen, implants, why would they bother putting implants in people? I mean, they have got enough people. I would think they wouldn't have to implant them. Well, they know what people's thoughts are. They're taking them aboard UFOs and not returning a lot of people. So why would they even need implants unless it's something else? That is another thought. It keeps going in my mind. There's another motive behind all this. The Soviet Union at one point had all these sleeper agents in our country that were hypnotized, brainwashed, or whatever. They didn't even know they were a spy. But in event, if there was a war, between the Soviet Union and the United States, all of a sudden they would get a phone call or they would hear a key word and boom, they knew their mission and they would carry that out. And normally it would be like a little suitcase bomb or something. Now, are they doing these to these abductees that are being implanted and implanting them? Again, but then if they're doing this, then, they're having to do it on a regular basis, because if they implant somebody that's 30 years old, in 25 years from now, their implant is worthless, because I hate to say it, they're not going to be able to carry out any type of mission. Something is up. So, that's all I'm saying. I keep thinking of the movie, The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It scares me because, you have, Terry Lovelace talking horrible things that was going on in that UFO, with the people being, basically tortured and experimented on. Then you have all these other people we've had on the show, Timothy Cullen, not Timothy Cullen, but Calvin Parker, saying, that, somebody trying to put their hand down his throat and come out his nostrils, and the pain and all that stuff he was going through. It's all this stuff. I would think they would know more about humans than we know about ourselves, because they're so far technically and intelligent-wise superior to us.
Yeah, I think the implants are multifaceted, multitasking things. I think I think they work to study and see individuals, what they do, maybe how they think. I think another thing, they can maybe manipulate them to have them go to where they want to go or do what they want to do. I think that's one other thing. And again, maybe tracking too. I don't know, but I think they're multifaceted. I don't think they're just to track you. I think they have many uses that they use them for.
Yeah, but look, if they're going to abduct people and implant them, right? They so are far advanced, they could sit there, right, around whatever, cloaked around our Earth orbit, right, and find out who is critical in our society to be implanted. Like congressmen, senators, doctors, lawyers, military, high up. I mean, then I could see them being implanted. But why a plumber or electrician or a carpenter? Okay? Or Joe Blow works in a cannery. Why are they being abducted and implanted? We're not hearing it from, famous, congressmen or senators or doctors or lawyers, or not much of them anyway. So why would they just take the average person to do it? I mean, if they want to find out stuff, you want to go for the gusto. You don't want to go,
These are good questions, but maybe they do it because, hey, maybe they do have a Manchurian candidate kind of thing coming up. We don't know. Maybe it's because they'd rather do it on somebody that's not as high profile. Maybe they think it's less likely to get exposed. I don't know. But again, you bring up good questions. We don't have the answers. It'd be nice if we did. It would give us a little light on the subject.
Yeah, I really will. I'm not going to feel comfortable till we find out what is going on. How do you believe everybody that claims they were abducted anyway? I mean,
Well,
you know what? I've listened to people for the last 20 years or more. They, when I was on commercial radio, claimed all this stuff, past lives, they were regressed, going back to Pompeii, whatever, right? Yeah. Well, how much of this is from watching TV and having that influence in their brain? How much of the regression is actually real versus imaginary? I don't know.
Right. True. Very true. And again, it brings up good questions, and it's scary. And again, I always talk about patterns. I see patterns. And now a lot of these abductees, they have a lot of patterns and similar, PTSD, don't want to go to bed at night, afraid to go to bed. They see certain things that kind of triggers, things, maybe bright lights or weird lights or bright lights in the night sky. Again, you go right into the anxiety attack. So these are all patterns, and these things just didn't pop up. Something caused that, which some cases it's abduction. And another thing with these beings, or humanoids, or as you call them, I think they do have an ability to put false memories maybe in your brain or scrub some of your brain as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Soviets could do it, right? With their own agents. They went through spy school. They learned how to become American. They learned how to speak American. They thought American, right? And then they were brainwashed about their prior life being in the military of the, Soviet Union, and sent over here, to carry out a mission in case there was a war. They thought they were American, just like you think you were American, to a key word or something triggered everything, and their memory would come flooding back. Now, maybe this is going on, but this has been going on for years. So if they were going to do something crappy to our planet, wouldn't they have already done it?
Well, again, you bring.
I know that's a good question, right?
But however,
yes,
maybe maybe it's already in play. Maybe they just let us use our weaknesses against ourselves, like polluting the planet, war, and disease, and because we don't know their lifeline, a day to us might be a second to them as far as living. Maybe they live thousands of years, where we live maybe 75, 80 if we're lucky on an average. So maybe they, time is no essence, no problem to them. We don't know these things, so maybe that's why. Maybe they're letting us ruin ourselves.
Well, we're going to find out more with our guest coming on in a few minutes. By the way, I'm going to do a big shout out to a couple people. Tobias Whalen. His new book is out. You can find it on Amazon. It's called The Lake Michigan Mothman. Now, if you're into cryptids, if you're into like Mothman, Bigfoot, things like this book, you should get on Amazon, buy it for somebody if they're into it for Christmas. Great Christmas stocking stuffer. Earl Grey, he is a great person. I mean, he's with MUFON. He's an investigator. He's kind of high up in California MUFON, investigating UFOs. But also, he is a great singer. And his song, Seventh Sister, is fantastic. We use that as bumper music. So a big shout out to him. Tom with Metatron Power and Light. I mean, they are, what can I say? They're more than awesome. You can go onto our website and click onto their link, and you can go on to, I guess, a couple of different places, and you can buy any of their music. Well, anyway, we're going to be going on break here in about a minute, and then James is going to have the news, and then who we got as our guest, our first guest, James?
First guest is Rob Shelsky.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to be talking about aliens and UFOs. And, I just got a thing in from our friend, my friend, your friend, Lon Strickler. All the reports I report on that he reports from the Chicago area about the winged humanoids. Remember all the stuff we've been talking about? I've brought up, and he's brought to my attention. Well, within the last 24 hours, they've had